Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the Raw Deal podcast coming at you live. It's your boys, Charlie and G, or Garrett, or Paulie, if you prefer. We had Raw and SmackDown this week. Seriously, I used to go, no, that's a story I can go to. I went by Paul. It's my middle name. I went by Paul
Oh, true. Fair point.
for like a year. So there was that. Side anecdote. Raw and SmackDown were both pretty good this week, I thought. I mean, there were some missteps, obviously. There always is. But, I mean, I don't know. What are your overall thoughts so far?
A 3-hour show. There's gonna be stuff you like and don't like, and I thought it was attentively a good one. And SmackDown, I thought was just as good. Just a bit of a boring main event, but we'll get into that as the show goes on.
Absolutely. Well, as you guys can see, Brady's not with us. He will be joining us soon, but we will start without him because that is what we do. We trudge on in this show. We don't just wait because that would just be painful to watch. All right, so Raw started out this week with an edition of Miz TV, probably one of the most fun and storyline-driven Miz TV segments we've seen in a while, and most of these segments are pretty good.
That's true.
So, it was really cool because we got to see The Miz come out, do his Miz thing. Who did he even have on this week? Did he even have anybody, or was it just a random Miz TV?
Well, there was
I remember
announced, and then Brock Lesnar comes out.
Right, he said he was supposed to be somebody, but it got changed by Kurt Angle at the last second or something.
Yeah.
I forget who it was originally going to be. Yeah. Doom. Yeah, that was great. And then of course, The Miz is his only defense is to just start cracking jokes about everybody and talking mad crap. So we get to this point where, we all were like, well, when's Lesnar going to snap? And, well, the Miz Taraj must have been thinking the same thing because they went to try and attack, and it didn't go well for them.
They were like, we got the meat ready.
Yep, and Lesnar suplexed Dallas and Axel. I think he did something to Miz. What did he do to Miz to knock him down at first? Did he just hit him or something? I think he just hit him.
Well, he did the clotheslines to them and then suplexed Miz.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because then he suplexes one of the two of them. I can't remember. And then he F5s Dallas, F5s Axel, and then F5s the Miz. Right?
I believe so.
So there was
a lot of them. Pretty.
It was Suplex City, F5 City. Suplex City experienced an F5 tornado. It happens. 3 in the same place. It's amazing. But so it proves Lesnar may or may not be going when he says he's going, because he has now said straight up that he might on WWE TV, and then on top of that, now he's going out and doing a lot more wrestling than we normally see Lesnar do. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, Miz TV has always been sort of a hit or miss show. Even when the Miz has been good, it's been sort of sometimes. I mean, it's never been bad, but it's just never been a particularly high spot in any given Raw. I don't think there's usually better stuff that accompanies it. And I don't know. I think that's because Miz TV isn't really a segment that could be in the middle of the show. It has to be either at the beginning or toward the end. I feel like it never really worked in the middle spot. And I know they put it there a couple of times. So
yeah, it's true. It's a good thing to put on the hour mark because it has gained good reviews. I'd say because people are liking it. People like The Miz now. So either throw it at the hour mark or beginning. I think it really works as opening the show. It set a really good tone.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with Brock.
With Brock coming out and just destroying the competition. It makes him look more threatening, and it makes The Miz look like more of a heel because even Lesnar doesn't like him, and Lesnar's not exactly a heel or a face, but we know he likes to hurt people. So the fact that he came out and wasted his energy on The Miz, a guy that doesn't really seem like he would do that, it's just really interesting. It adds to the characters of both of them. Because The Miz's immediate response to Brock Lesnar isn't to try and goad him into liking him or something, which would be what you'd think his response would be. He's like, whatever, you're Lesnar, I don't care,
Yeah.
The Miz isn't even worried about it. So I don't know. I really like opening segments where you see stuff you normally wouldn't see, which Brock Lesnar in the opening segment only happened, I think, when he was feuding with Goldberg recently, and maybe some other times. But yeah,
it's not too often exactly. It's not too often, and it's a nice touch.
I like that every time he shows up now, it's unannounced. That's just the greatest thing ever because it means we're always going to get a huge pop whenever he shows up randomly,
Yeah.
Obviously, there's still those announced appearances that he likes to do. But I really like when they have an opportunity to do something that you normally wouldn't see.
Well, yeah, speaking of Brock, I mean, something that a lot of people might not realize is who are watching, Brock might be leaving sooner than later to do this UFC fight with John Jones, and it's picking up steam and it's picking up fast. And now John Jones is supposed to be ringside at SummerSlam. So hey,
yeah, it said I got a notification that said hadn't ruled out an appearance at SummerSlam.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, if they can start taking MMA fighters that want to be wrestlers, like for instance, wink, wink, Conor McGregor, that would like to do wrestling and have them. Oh, and Ronda Rousey. I seen something about Ronda Rousey today, starting her pro wrestling training or something. Like, if they can start blending those worlds together, maybe some of these fighters start coming over to the WWE and start having matches, and then I don't know, maybe they put on a 5-star match and then they leave. And then they come and get win a title or something, and then they're gone for a little bit, and then they drop the title over there. They come back, and they're like, I want a title shot in the WWE. I was just a UFC, I don't know, bantamweight champion or something,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that would be, if they can start blurring the lines of what's real and what's not, when they start bringing these MMA fighters, Sonya Deville down in NXT, great example of MMA fighter that can come over and start wrestling, and I wasn't sure about her at first, but she's come along, it can be done. It can be done. Wrestlers, amateur wrestlers, and fighters can become pro wrestlers. Ken Shamrock. The list goes on. The list goes on.
What's up, Gerber Twins? Welcome to the show. We're doing wrestling talk tonight. So
yeah. So the next segment on the show we had was. Wait, was there something you wanted to say? Sorry.
Also, if there's segments we're going by and you're like, I mean, nothing really to talk about this, we don't have to, just throwing that out there. If it's a segment that you just don't care about.
Right.
But yeah, I gotta so 1 second.
Okay. Charlie will be back. So I'll start without him. All right. So we had Seth Rollins versus Sheamus in the first match of the night. This was like a really killer match to me. Like, I mean, it wasn't like a 5-star beauty or anything, or even maybe you're not even 4.5, might just be a 4, maybe even a 3.5. I mean, it's not a particularly spectacular match. It just, in my opinion, this is the kind of match that you want to either be the first or main event of a Raw. One that's going to start things off, that's going to get the blood flowing in the crowd, that's going to get them on their feet. I mean, especially when you had last week, you had Ambrose being like, yo, don't try and make me look like the bad guy. Well, what does Rollins do? That's his immediate reaction, is to go and try and do the thing that he told him not to do, because Rollins is just a stupid baby face, and he has to just be like, assume that the best of people, even people that don't like him, that he backstabbed like 4 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
But I loved Wacky Dean Ambrose just giving him the cold shoulder, being like, I told you I wasn't going to come out the next time. And that, I mean, what did you think of the match, Charlie? Because I thought Rollins versus Sheamus was pretty good, considering,
Yeah, exactly. I was not expecting it to be too entertained, but yeah, Rollins, he can make a good match with anyone. And
yeah.
I think that even more proved the case.
I mean, Sheamus isn't a slouch in the ring either.
Exactly.
He just needs a specific.
Sheamus is no slouch, but I'm not the biggest fan of Sheamus, I should say.
Right, I know that about you. Yeah. But Sheamus, technically, he needs somebody who can match his style usually to have good matches. Like, he was always a big man type wrestler, so I feel like that's what he's always needed. Right, that's why his series with Cesaro was so good overall when you look back on it now, because they're both about. That was good, and I love that they had included live events in it and stuff. Just not even caring about the rules of kayfabe anymore. Just like, hey, look, this match that's also on Raw is now going to take place on this thing that's not supposed to be quote unquote canonical. That this is now. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. Again, more blurring of the lines, and the less that it seems fake, the better the product is going to turn out to be. Because when you act like everything's super real, people are going to call you on that and be like, crap, this isn't real. I know. But if you likewise try to make fun too much of how fake it is, then you get like I mean, everyone loves PWG, but I mean, I mean, look at the ring and the setup. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like it's supposed to be a joke when you actually look at it. But
well, let me tell you,
no disrespect to PWG. That's just the way when I look at that set that I look at it.
Hold on.
But we got Brady now.
Welcome, Brady.
Dude, what's going on?
We hear you. Can you hear us?
Just keep talking.
Is that it?
All right, let's just keep talking. I don't think you can hear.
There we go, dude. Saw.
All right. We already talked about Miss TV. Just really quickly before we move fully into the Rollins Sheamus stuff, what were your thoughts on Miss TV this week, Brady?
Miz is great as always.
Agreed.
All right.
Cool. I like how Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel are actually having their own identities, and they're not just stooges. Like, hopefully they can turn this into something else.
That's true.
Anyway, all right. Any guesses right now? What did I had to stop and get something quick. Shit, you might be able to see it. Don't look. What did I get on the way home? I had to get something quick. You could say I needed something hot and ready.
Oh, did you get pizza?
Little Caesars. That's what it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Crazy bread. Yep.
Little Caesars. Anyway, so we were just talking about Rollins versus Sheamus. I liked the match. Charlie also liked the match. Did you like the match, Brady?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Wait, the Miz, quote unquote match. Brock Lesnar killing the guys.
No. Rollins. You know how they did the Rollins Miz.
Yeah, I didn't really. We kind of talked the Miz TV segment to death in the first 5 minutes of the show or something.
Okay. Move it along, kids. I got 2 shows to talk about.
Yeah, boy. All right. So Rollins versus Sheamus. What'd you think of the match?
Rollins doing his high spot moves. They look fun on bigger guys like Sheamus. Just a random side note. Something I like to take away from that. Something I noticed.
I thought what I was pointing out, Brady, was that most of the time Sheamus needs like a bigger guy. Not to say that Rollins isn't a big guy. Obviously, he's considered a heavyweight. He was by the people in the back. That's how he got the title in the first place. But not that those titles, not that those distinctions actually mean anything, because Rey Mysterio was also considered a heavyweight, at one point when he was going for the heavyweight title, even though obviously he was cruiserweight level.
Right.
Besides all my rambling there, my point was that he usually needs a bigger guy so that it's almost like British big man wrestling in the way that that's what he sort of came up in, I guess. That's the British style, the European style of wrestling. But he's not like he's never had a good match with someone that wasn't his size. So I like that he's going back to that now, that it must have been ever since he started doing with the high flying Cesaro, that series, which, Cesaro is about his size. That's why we all loved it so much, was because they matched in size. But this was an example of Rollins is a little bit smaller, but Rollins was able to keep up and their styles just meshed really well, which you usually don't see with Sheamus. So I was impressed by.
I think that Sheamus, the way he works is really good for people that can sell well, like Rollins. And honestly, he's the only big guy that I'm not afraid is going to hurt someone like majorly. Like, Sheamus hurts people probably more frequently than anybody, but it's not major things. It's like they just got the crap beat out of them.
True.
So
knocks Jeff Hardy's tooth out,
Yeah, exactly. But that's fine.
Exactly. Like, as
Better
long as it doesn't
on it, right? I love that thing.
Yeah. All right. So after Rollins and Sheamus had their match, and Rollins got totally dissed by Ambrose not coming out like he said he wasn't going to, Rollins goes backstage, obviously mad, fuming even. I thought Rollins' acting was actually pretty good here, looking really mad, And
he looked actually upset, and it was believable.
Yeah. And then Ambrose being more upset than Rollins when he comes and finds him in the backstage segment that happened after this. I thought was awesome, because it makes complete sense, because he did just basically go out there and make him look like a jackass,
Yeah.
It's true.
So what did you guys think? I thought this was perfect supplementary segment. I love when they throw right to these segments after a match, after a commercial break. It's a great way to open the show.
It was a well-timed thing. They could have done this 30 minutes later. It would have been like, I mean, come on. Oh, it's like, oh yeah, that happened. But they did it right away, right at the commercial break. Boom, 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 and it felt good. He was storming.
Been doing some good stuff past 2 weeks.
I buy into a Shield reunion if it's going to happen. You know what I mean? If they're going to be a tag team and they're going to go on and win the tag titles at SummerSlam, dude, I mean, hey.
Oh yeah, I'm in. I'm all in.
Yeah, buy in like Rollins. No. But yeah, I mean, I love when these segments happen right away too, because like you said, sometimes they'll literally have them seem like Rollins was walking backstage for like half an hour before he found Ambrose, which might have happened, but you know, like that seems like that would only happen every so often because they'd all be in one area. So the fact that he wouldn't be able to find Ambrose would be kind of stupid. So the fact that they did that is good. I enjoy when they actually keep continuity with like if this was an actual like MMA type thing or like whatever you want to call it, what it would be similar to, like amateur wrestling mixed with MMA is what you would call it. It adds to that. Like I was saying this and I keep saying this, the more they can make it seem less fake, the better. But like I said to Charlie, Brady, before you came in, it's a hard balance to find. It's almost like if you go to like acting like it's completely all real, people are going to make fun of you and be like, wrestling's not real. And people are going to also, if you go the other way and you start being like, that's where PWG got brought up, because I was like, because PWG just completely drops any semblance of reality when they're literally not even in like an actual stadium. You know what I mean? Like
anyone over the age of 8 knows that it's not real. There's no point in saying it.
I'm not saying you have to act like it's real. I'm saying respecting what the business came from is always something that needs to be, I think, kept in the back burner of pro wrestling. I don't think you can just forget that that's the way things used to be. Anyway.
Sure, but I think if you put a Bruno Sammartino or Hulk Hogan out on TV today, WWE would be dead within a year.
I'm not saying that at all. I think that old wrestling, by comparison to modern wrestling, is terrible most of the time. There have been some really good feuds, really good rivalries. I mean, that stuff it's not the same wrestling climate it used to be. Like, I don't think if you took someone that you got into wrestling a year from now and you tried to show them something from the 80s or 90s, that they would understand. You know what I mean? They wouldn't get why that was such a great time for wrestling, because they weren't able to see any of the remnants of that. Like, I was lucky that I got to see the very tail end of the Attitude Era stuff when I was super young. And I got to go back and look at all that old stuff before I got thrown into this new version of the product. So I have a respect for the old style of wrestling. And maybe that's why I'm such a cynical fan, because I just don't see why things have to be so like, oh, look, it's wrestling. That fake stuff. I don't know why we have to be that way as wrestling fans.
Fair point.
But anyway, the next segment we had was a match between Jason Jordan and local jobber Jean-Pierre. What was it? Goulet? Jean-Pierre Goulet?
I'm kidding. I don't
know. He was
name.
super over with the crowd. I assume he's part of the local indie wrestling circuit. And he's well known. Like, how every so often they'll bring like a well-known journeyman jobber from a certain area in. Like, that's what this guy was.
It doesn't matter if the guy's a jobber or a big star. If they're billing him as a hometown guy, the fans are going to cheer him. So I don't know what the hell they thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't really make sense if they're trying to maybe set up a Jason Jordan like heel turn where he like reveals that he's not really Angle's son or something. But like,
no, he should do an entitled little prick heel turn.
Exactly, that would be better. It would make more sense.
Or Kurt Angle keeps giving opportunities.
Yeah, which that hasn't happened yet. So if that has, all he got given was a match last week. When we heard opportunity, we were like, is he going to get like a #1 contenders match or something? No, it was just a match. Whatever you're going to do. The match was like, what, 5 minutes? Something like that? Not even. Like, it was like last week's match. Really quick.
The match was terrible. You couldn't tell which one has been on the main roster and which one hadn't.
I was going to point that out, that Jason Jordan didn't look like he was having like a Jason Jordan high energy match like we would expect, It
was obviously his job to call the match, and I don't think he's there yet.
Well, yeah, because you have a local guy and you have a WWE star who's going to get given the job of planning that out. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that is 100% on him. And obviously he didn't have enough time. Maybe this got shoved at him at the last minute, but I seriously doubt it because they're trying to push him really heavily right now. So what are you going to do? Jason Jordan still looking strong. That's all you need really in kayfabe. So, but up next we have a somber note. Bayley came out and addressed the fact that she's not going to be able to make it to SummerSlam. When I saw this break, I was disappointed because I was like, man, I was really hoping this will be the time for her to maybe come back. Maybe this is where she wins the title back from Alexa, and she goes on to face, I don't know, Emma or something, you know, like, and or maybe, you know,
Nia Jax won it.
even whatever, it doesn't matter, you know. I mean, but whatever, as long as it fits what the creative wants. I mean, you know, I mean, I feel like this was really unfortunate. This is almost like what happened with Balor in a way, not except at the time she didn't relinquish a title, but because now they had to suddenly change all of their plans on a dime, you know, 2 weeks out from the pay-per-view. So
we had 2 massive injuries announced on Raw. Revival and Bayley are both out of commission, and I think they're both done. Neither of them are going to recover.
No, certainly not the Revival at the very least. Like,
Yeah,
they may be able to.
Their whole shtick was that they have that old style wrestling, and it was a good contrast to everyone. But like they lost all of their steam that they could have had.
Yeah, and they lost it before too.
Yeah,
because when they came back, I mean, they weren't getting any pops.
No,
now
like,
they're gone
people
again.
forgot. Yep. Yeah, I think they're going to end up back in NXT or something because I don't see what they could do with them at this point.
It's just stupid that the same people that were pissed off that Bayley wasn't called up sooner, like a year ago, the people that were freaking out that Bayley wasn't getting opportunities are now booing her.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Apparently, McMahon was pissed about that.
Yeah.
I saw that. He was very upset about that.
Who was it? Corey Graves did the Bizarro World thing. Yeah. That's how you can tell, is because that's what they say. That's when Vince McMahon, you know, he's angry when he says it's Bizarro World.
Well, that's like, remember you said, Garrett, the night after WrestleMania that Charlie and I went to, didn't you say that they were like, this is Orlando, they cheer who they normally boo and they boo who they normally cheer?
Yep, they said that. I was like, okay, I know 2 guys. I don't think that's how it is. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That was. I kept trying to find you guys in the crowd when we were watching that.
You can find us in the NXT crowds on the tapings we go to.
I did actually. I have a screenshot I never sent to you that I found. I'm pretty sure I found you guys in the lucha masks.
All right. Anyway, let's continue because we got.
Yeah. Okay. So, leading out of this segment, we then had a triple threat match between Sasha Banks, Emma, and Alicia Fox. It was good to see. It was good to see Alicia Fox back because I don't think she's not been on TV since the stuff with Dar and Alexander ended, right? So, like,
and
you know,
they did all that, and lo and behold, she doesn't even eat the pin. They give it to Emma.
Yeah, I mean,
Emma pissed off a lot of people backstage.
We know that.
Dude, these women's cuts, I'm telling you, when they happen, they're going to be brutal. They're going to slice half the rosters on each brand.
I'm telling you right now, though, correct me if I'm wrong, Emma and Zack Ryder would kill it on the indies.
Absolutely.
They would do really well.
Zack Ryder, at the very least, would be really. Could you imagine Emma in a place like Stardom or something?
If Emma went to Global Force and faced against who's their main chick they got there now?
Sienna.
Yeah, Sienna. She's good, by the way.
Go ahead. I'll pay. I'd pay for that match. It's a good match,
dude. Yeah, Sienna has got like that weird, like, you know how there's like a female Samoan wrestling style that like both Tamina and Nia use. Well, that style is the style that Sienna uses as like a smaller but more muscular, like, you know, white chick, and it just looks impressive on her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that mixed with Emma's, you know, sort of like not high fly, but like sort of almost high fly heel offense, you know, like where she's, you know, bouncing out the ropes and all that stuff. Like that will be a good match. I'm just saying. I wanted to take a tangent really quickly, but yeah. So I mean, this match was a match. I mean, it didn't go very long. I don't think, you know, these triple threats. I mean, what can you say? I mean, this is just when they you can't really criticize the segment because other than the Emma getting pinned, I mean, because like this is just their backup plan. They didn't know what to do, so they did this, you know.
It's just even with their backup plan, we all knew it was so predictable. As soon as we saw Nia Jax wasn't in this match, we knew it was going to be Nia Jax.
There's only 6 women on the roster. We knew it was going to be Sasha against 2 faces, or Sasha versus 2 heels, and Nia versus 2 faces, and that they were going to beat them. We already knew what the 2 triple threats were going to be. Sasha looked fine. Emma looked really good. Alicia Fox looked really bad. Emma ate the pin. That's about it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, regular stuff, average matches. I mean, whatever. Next thing on the list I got here, we had a Braun Strowman interview. I don't even remember what he said. I know it was one of those like he likes. I think this was about the Roman Reigns match. I think he was just saying like he likes hurting Roman Reigns. This is a standard Strowman interview. Not much to go into there.
He's saying his favorite thing is to crush the bones of Roman Reigns. Something like
yeah. He sounded cool. I just not much to go into there. It's just a Strowman interview. So Strowman got some TV time before he got his match later, which we'll get to. We had Enzo Amore and Big Show having a promo. Enzo cut another really long promo. He does this all the time now. It's getting this stuff between Big Show and Big Cass is already dead for me before we even get to the pay-per-view.
It's done.
They just shoved Enzo at us too much. I think they should have maybe had him pull back a little bit. He could still cut promos. Obviously, the Big Show doesn't need to be going out there and cut all the promos, but maybe not have him.
If we're going based on YouTube numbers, Big Cass is like one of the top guys in the company. Big Cass has over 1 million views on all his videos. So it's obvious something that we're not seeing that people really like about Big Cass. I don't know why.
I really think Big Cass would do so much better on SmackDown. Just a side note. They have too many people over there like him.
Yeah, but but you say they have too many people like him. They also have Baron Corbin with the briefcase over on SmackDown.
Yeah, SmackDown doesn't have a mid-card, though. They have no one.
That's true. He could go after the U.S.
They're
title.
using their top stars in the mid-card because they don't have one. I think Big Cass could be a nice staple there,
Yeah. I mean,
just a random side note.
Yeah.
So they cut that promo. It was too long. It was too airy. Enzo Amore even seemed like he realized he was going too long somewhere in it, But it led into a match because out come Gallows and Anderson, who I'm just going to start referring to as the Good Brothers because they're starting to refer to themselves as the Good Brothers, which if you've never watched the Talkin' Shop episode to Talk is Jericho, you need to go do that like after you're done watching this show because they're just
done like 4 or 5 of them now. So.
They're just so hilarious every time, and you can tell that's actually what Gallows and Anderson are like. I like that they're letting them be a little more like of themselves. It's just really cool to see that they're hamming it up a little bit. He said something with the word hoot in it, which is a reference to one of the characters they do. Nature Hoot or something. I think it's AJ Styles' impression of Ric Flair or something.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. You know what I mean? Like. So go and check that out whenever you guys get a chance. But yeah, I mean, then they had a match with I'm calling them Ends Show. I don't know what they're gonna call them. That's just what I typed in my thing. Ends Show, whatever.
It's a very to me. I don't see the hype around it. The Enzo and Big Show.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. They had a pretty okay match, I think. I believe that Big Cass came out for the distraction.
Do you think that Revival going down is going to keep both the Hardys and Good Brothers off SummerSlam?
Good.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
that would suck because Hardys had some steam with the Woken Hardys.
Yeah, they did. I don't know. It could very well do. Well, there wasn't much to talk about there, by the way, so I'm just going to move on. Besides that, they had a match. I don't remember who won. It wasn't that significant. I think it was some sort of Big Cass distraction, though. I believe that was what happened. Finn Balor came out and cut a promo. Can't remember about what. More him and Bray Wyatt are both cutting kind of ridiculous promos because they're trying to do the spooky thing. Bray Wyatt comes out, tries to attack him. When he comes out, he's in the middle of the ring, and Balor's sitting up on the turnbuckle, and then he tries to attack him again, and Balor jumps, gets like a kick on him or something, or some move, whatever. And then Bray Wyatt teleports into the Titantron because he does that, and cuts another ridiculous promo that we won't go into because it's more Bray Wyatt crap. I was a little hyped for this last week. I kind of died on me. Any quick thoughts on that, guys?
Nothing on my end.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go through a little bit of this stuff rapid fire. I'm going to come back to the Dean Ambrose versus Cesaro, but there was Titus Brand and Neville segment, and then Tozawa versus Daivari. I don't remember what happened in either of those segments. Didn't really care.
Titus Brand is, other than the Dean and Seth stuff, that's the best thing on Raw.
I just didn't have. I was trying to watch this, and
it was just they had a little spot where Tozawa and who's the other guy? Tozawa and Apollo Crews. Titus O'Neil is like Titus, and then the two guys go worldwide. It was just,
yeah, it's pretty good.
but I love it.
Yeah, it's not as good as Fashion Files, but just the fact that they don't care that they went to, it's like the Heath Slater thing all over again. They just keep doing it.
Fashion Files. I think it's about time for Fashion Files to die, but we'll get to that.
Well, yeah, I think you're right about that, but you know. All right, there was also a Roman Reigns interview. I believe it was along the same lines of the Braun interview. Another one of those things where you're like, oh, is Braun going to attack him? And then he doesn't, and you're like, okay. So.
Yeah.
And then there was a Golden Age segment, a Cass and Angle backstage segment. None of this stuff really matters.
You know, I went to bed after the Titus thing, so
okay.
I can't speak on anything from here on out. I don't even know who won Last Man Standing. So
all right, well, there's one more thing I have to talk about. So Dean Ambrose and Cesaro had a match. It was like before earlier in the show, where it was one of the Shield Bros versus both of the Cesaro. Couldn't think of their name for a second. And so on that, this time we actually had a save. Ambrose loses the match, I believe, and then he's getting beaten down, or maybe he wins. I can't remember. Either way, the match finishes, whatever way it ends. And then he's getting beaten down by Sheamus and Cesaro. And so then Rollins comes out to make the save. And then the big antithesis of this was Ambrose is finally trusting him. Ambrose throws the fist down to do the Shield Bro reunion thing, and Ambrose just gives him the cold shoulder now. So that's going to be next week. Obviously, Rollins is going to have to get convinced now of Dean, and then by SummerSlam, obviously, they'll be a team. But probably still on shaky ground.
Just assume you know where they're going.
I mean, obviously, that's the setup at this point. They have one of them angry at the other, and then finally trusts them, and now the other one's like, why would I trust you after what you put me through? So it's basic storytelling. They're going to have him do something to prove it to Seth next week off of no guidance at all from Seth, and then he's going to be like, oh yeah, I guess we're good now, because they just did the same thing. So it'll be fine. I just wanted to address that happened. And moving on to the bigger stuff, there was the other women's triple threat, but we kind of talked about both of them at the same time. And there was the main event, which was a last man standing match between Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, the big dog himself.
Yeah, both main events were grudge matches. Honestly, when it comes to this match, it was very, very slow, up until a point where Braun Strowman picked up a computer chair and threw it at Roman Reigns' head.
Yeah,
and that was your pop of the night. Like that was
your OMG moment of the year. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
so
they kept going, brawling, and then Smojo comes out, Kiki clutches Roman Reigns, and Braun Strowman stands up and wins.
Really quickly, there was something that I saw on Facebook. Apparently, there was an error in this match. Apparently, when he starts Coquina clutching him, Strowman is still down, so the referee should technically still be counting, but he stops counting. And so
says he says hi. He wishes the best to all of us.
Sean John, hey, what's up, Sean John? What's up, bro? Hey, is that it? All right. All right.
I am the one. I am the son. Don't need no gun to get. All right.
My God.
All right. So we were talking about, yeah. So the match was okay. I don't think it was as spectacular as it could have been. This should have been the big blowout, and it was kind of slow, like you said. So
it was very slow. I mean, I was about to pass out. I was counting the time down, to be honest. I was like, all right, when's this?
I watched this later than everybody else too, so I had school, so I was like, I'm just gonna hope this is over soon. But yeah, so that was Raw. Overall grades for Raw, boys. I'll go to Brady first.
Well, like I said, I didn't really watch, and I missed the Seth and Dean stuff. Honestly, this planning week for me, and the reason I was late is because tomorrow's the first day for the kids, so I've just been staying really late. I've been there since I've been at the school every day until like 6 or 7, and then coming back and maybe doing a podcast or trying to get more work done. So I've just been really tired. So I've been going to bed pretty early. Like last night, SmackDown. I fell asleep. What was it? Right after the 1 hour hit, segment ended. I was like, all right, I'm going to bed.
Was that
it was
Tamina?
Shane and AJ and Kevin Owens, right? Was that the?
Oh yeah, this Shane McMahon. No wait, only thing I have listed for Shane is a promo. Oh wait, was that the promo you're talking about when they were in the ring?
Yeah, was it in the middle of the show?
Yep. Yeah, it's right there in the middle. That's why I saw Shane
That was
McMahon.
done. They went to commercial and I went to bed. I was so tired I was falling asleep.
Okay, well,
but from what I saw of Raw, I thought it was okay. It's a little predictable, but I'm okay with predictable if I like the way it's going. I think the Titus stuff is way over delivering. I think Seth and Dean have been doing a really good job, and Miz is always great. And Lesnar beat the ever living piss out of Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel and the Miz. So I'll give it a B plus.
Alrighty, we'll go to Charlie.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a B. Like you said, there's really good stuff and there's some lame stuff, and I thought the main event wasn't as good as it should have been, and that definitely plays a part. It got good at the end, no one's denying that. But
I wonder why okay, what's the reason behind having a last man standing match?
I assume it was supposed to be a blow off for their feud. I don't know.
Was it because Braun wasn't finished with him?
I'm not finished with you.
By the way, real quick, did you guys see the picture on Twitter of Braun Strowman's abs?
No, what?
Dude is ripped.
I gotta look it up now.
He was like, yeah, everyone's talking about Big Show's abs, and like he posted a picture, and the dude's pretty ripped. I did not expect it.
I don't even follow Braun Strowman on Twitter.
Oh, dude, he's the best. He does poetry.
I never followed him. Is it the first one that comes up?
The latest one is Luke Harper. All he does is post every day saying it's Thursday. Guess what that means?
It only says he's tweeted 23 times. Is that right? Oh, yeah, it is. Man, he does have some abs. I would have never thought. I would have thought he would be more like a bodybuilder build. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Impressive. That's why the man can do a kip up. And what was the big thing he did? I forget. He did another move that he shouldn't have been able to do on this episode of Raw, I think, in the Last Man Standing match. Charlie, do you know what I'm talking about?
I feel like I should, but no.
He did a huge drop kick. That's what it was. He did like a leaving off his feet drop kick. It was impressive.
Oh, yeah.
If you can find video of that, Brady, go ahead and try. Because it impressed me. I was like, oh my gosh, a kip up and now this? Come on.
He's very agile, massive.
He's awesome. He's awesome. What was your grade for Raw, Garrett?
I am going to give it an A because too sweet for the Good Brothers. I think that they didn't do anything too spectacularly bad. I mean, I only give that grade when I feel like I left the show wanting to watch SmackDown the next night. And I did that this week. So,
true.
Speaking of SmackDown, moving on, we have some stuff to talk about. There's a lot less stuff on here, and I will still go through it a little quickly. The stuff that doesn't need to be talked about in depth, I'll go ahead and hit right now, which is the Carmella versus Naomi match, perhaps. That didn't really do anything, and that was post Brady anyway. So, and then there was an Ellsworth and Carmella and Natalia segment. And so those things I just wanted to. Oh, and the Nakamura interview as well. Those things didn't really have anything that needed to be talked about at length.
Nothing.
I felt kind of bad. I went to bed right before Ellsworth.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun in the moment, but then it was like, it's Ellsworth, you know. It was a slow realization. Oh, and there was an Orton interview. There was an Orton interview in the same style of the Strowman interview from the Raw. So
yeah, what's up with Renee on both shows? Am I the only one? Is that kind of weird? I don't know. I don't like it. They should have their own people. Side note, but
yeah, wasn't Charlie Caruso the one on Raw before?
Maybe.
Maybe.
That's the thing. She still is.
Right.
And
so maybe Charlie took the. I don't know. She's a on talent on screen, so maybe she took time off because she doesn't have to wrestle. I don't know.
Charlie, how does it feel knowing that you have a name that can be used by both boys and girls?
Pretty rock and roll.
Ooh. Yeah, that's what.
Charlie and I have been friends for years. I don't think I've ever asked him that question.
Yeah, that's
a lot of.
I never even thought about that. I was like,
why too? It's just random.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
But anyway.
You should start spelling your name C8. You should just take the E off and leave it with the I on the end with a heart over the top.
Oh, my God.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Jeez.
All right. Reining it in here, boys. All right. So the show started out with John friggin' Cena coming out and cutting a promo. No, but yeah, it was a good promo, I thought. I mean, John is John. We all know. I think we could tell buy this promo that the rumors of him possibly retiring after this next WrestleMania, could be true. I believe it. And maybe that's why they faked us out with Roman Reigns and The Undertaker. Maybe that's what they're going to bring it back for John Cena's Undertaker WrestleMania match or something. And that'll be both of their last matches. Like, for sure, it'll be like built or something like that way. That way they can get that payoff. Because they always said, I think someone said they wanted to do that. That wasn't just a fan thing. That was something that they talked about doing. But then circumstances came the way they did. Yeah, I mean, hey. What are you going to do, right? Who else deserves to send him off? I mean, other than maybe Reigns, I guess, if you want to leave it at that.
Ric Flair for the title, obviously, a vacated title. The winner gets 17 and the loser,
Oh, yeah, I guess. True, yeah. I mean,
I'm kidding.
No, I mean, hey, Flair wrestled for years after he left WWE, like a couple, So, hey, it happened. No. He was in TNA. It did happen. I believe he even had a match with AJ Styles. I mean, anyway. So, what do you guys think of Cena? Cena does what Cena does.
Yeah, exactly. He made his match with Corbin seem big. When Corbin came out, called him a dumpster fire. And
I love that he noticed that sign and he was like, "I'm working this into my promo," because he's probably one of the few guys that can actually do that.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think of Corbin's new theme?
Oh yeah, I didn't even touch on that. Corbin's new theme is great. I loved it.
Definitely fits him more now.
All I gotta say is
it? I can't see the thing. Oh, the blow. It fits it more. He doesn't have a biker look. I mean, he does, but he is a biker. I don't know. It's a more sinister theme, I thought, and it's got the I don't know. It works for Corbin. Did he need a new one? No, but.
But are we going to complain about it? Probably in a couple of weeks. But,
It's better than that Jason Jordan one. My God, did you notice how, okay, listen to do it this time. Dude, there's no bass in it.
Not at all.
Dude,
it's so
I
weird.
like the Jason Jordan theme.
There is no bass in it at all. I wonder what that sounds like live.
Who cares? It's good stuff, man.
It sounds like that Snoop Dogg song.
True.
Right, anyway.
You guys just don't like his theme because he's black.
Whoa. Whoa, man. Whoa. Y'all are the ones that live down
I hate
south.
to call you guys out on your BS. That's why I'm here.
Whoa.
By the way,
y'all are the ones that live down south, not me, okay?
There's more than just ginger ale in here, so.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Anyway. All right, so probably continually the best thing on SmackDown happens to be the Usos. I don't know what that is about. Maybe they're just tired of being a mid card, other than being when they're in the main title scene, which was only a couple of times before. And I love that we got so used to them having the titles that it's so fresh now when they don't have them. And their new theme as well, I thought was also pretty good.
So
I'll throw it to you.
They added the rapping over the top. It's perfect.
Yep, it works.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's what that rap battle was a test to see if they could actually rap so that they could do this. Honestly.
Over the... Was it their voice on their theme?
It sounded like it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's them.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay.
It sounded like them. I didn't know if it was. I can't confirm. I don't know 100%. I'm gonna throw that caveat right there. But that's my assumption because it sounded a lot like them.
I'm going to search it.
What do you think of the tag team of Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger? Would you like that as a tag team?
Absolutely, dude. That's like
I'd be down
a mega team right there. Two super over guys.
Lose, and Ty Dillinger isn't even on TV ever, so might as well get them on.
Call them the Invisible Jobbers.
There you go. Neither of them have a title in WWE, so.
Yeah. Maybe they could win tag team belts. Who knows? If Heath Slater and Rhino can be an over tag team champion, then anybody can.
That's a good point.
I mean, really. And then that's not a knock on either of those guys, but if they can join up and get super over with the crowd and successfully have like a month-long tag team reign, then why not?
Yeah. So what was this Randy Orton interview? Was it
That was one of the ones I skimmed over. I said there's not much to talk about there. He was just interviewing, talking about why he's going to beat up Jinder Mahal and how the Singh brothers were out with injury.
Grudge match.
Yeah. So,
Jeez.
yeah, it is what it is. I didn't even know that was considered a type of match. It said grudge match on the thing, on the match screen, so I don't.
It's literally like the rivalry's done, but we're going to do another match because we don't know what to do anyways. That's kind of what it is.
Right. I just didn't know that they actually called it a stipulation now. That was just kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Like, unless it's going to be like a no DQ match or something, or a false count anywhere type match, but just like SmackDown's version, which I would buy into, you know. Or like maybe make one of them an Extreme Rules match, one of them a no holds barred match. Like you can accentuate out this brand difference. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, because when Raw did a 6-pack challenge, I was like, come on, guys, that's a SmackDown thing. You know, like they started doing them on SmackDown, and they had one for most of the titles. I mean, yeah, you know, 6-pack tag team challenge. Let's do it. I'm down.
Jesus, 6 tag teams.
I don't even think there is 6 tag teams on each brand.
You could do it on Raw.
Yeah.
On Raw, you got
Well, it won the Revival here.
You got Hardy's, Gallows, and Anderson. If Revival come back, Revival. Rollins and Ambrose. Cesaro and Sheamus.
Slater and Rhino.
Slater and Rhino. Dude, that's a good 6.
Yeah, dude, you can do it. Anyway, that was just that probably won't happen, but I just thought that's a good idea.
On SmackDown, it would be a little rough. We would have Breezango, New Day, Usos,
The Ascension and the Colognes.
Ascension, Colognes, and
Hype Bros.
Oh, yeah, that's a rough match. Let's not do that one. Let's go with the Raw one. The Raw one's going to at least be a really good match. You know? All right. So let's see. What else did I skip over? Oh, well, it looks like after the Usos, Sami Zayn stuff, we move on to Fashion Peaks, too.
Volume 2.
Yeah, Fashion Peaks, too. Mm-hmm.
They always have little things in each Fashion Files that are just hilarious. One of my favorite ones from this one, Fandango sees the coffee, he takes a drink of it. That's a good coffee, Dango.
And then he's just cured. And then he's just cured.
Spits it out. He's like, "That's a good coffee."
Why didn't you leave the aliens if they let you leave right away? Ain't no probes. Wait, no.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
I mean, let's be real. I thought the best part was the fact that this was all a rib on Bo Dallas over at Raw for his alien talk on Talk is Jericho.
It totally was. Which, by the way, that was an awesome episode of Talk is Jericho.
I love conspiracy theories. I listen to Beyond the Darkness almost every day on podcasts.
Dude, we should start a conspiracy theory podcast.
Dude, Rick needs to be in that.
Oh,
dude, ask Rick if jet fuel can melt steel beams.
All right, here we go.
Hashtag dank memes melt steel beams.
What the? Man has lost his mind.
Hold on one sec.
But that's something the Fashion Files are so consistent with, is they just have these moments in all of them that you can just be like, that's good stuff. They're just so original. But yeah.
Yeah. So next up we had Charlotte versus Lana. Charlotte killed her. Charlotte got pantsed. Who cares? Honestly, anyone that's being disgusting on Twitter and is like, "Oh man, I hope someone got a picture of that." Shut up. Unless you're 14 or something, like, dude, show your mouth. No one cares.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Lana's tit also almost came out.
You know, like no one with a brain cares about that at all. So
again, I just think this match just showed the state of the women's division on SmackDown. There's no story behind it. There's nothing. That's all that they do. I mean, at least they put people in matches, unlike Raw with a 3-hour show, but still, it's rough. It's not where it should be, to say the least.
What did you think, Charlie? Oh God, clicked the wrong thing. What do you think about all the Shane McMahon stuff? Well, really, so basically Shane McMahon came out and had a segment with Kevin Owens and AJ Styles, and they pulled up a bunch of old tape with Shane being special guest referee and how terrible of a job he did before. And basically Shane's got a beef with AJ and Owens historically, and this was kind of a way to do it. Styles goes to attack Owens. Shane tries to break it up. Well, actually, Owens goes to attack Styles. Then Styles tries coming back. Shane's in the middle and gets kicked in the head by a Pele kick unintentionally by Styles. And that's how we end it. Is there any chance?
I loved, wait, before you go on, I loved that AJ was like, took the moment and was like, you better stay out of my way. He mouthed it to him, or whatever. Well, obviously he actually said it, but it looked like you could see him mouthing it to him. I thought that was hilarious. You know, because and he was like, okay, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because he doesn't want to be looked at as the guy that's going to try and screw either one of them. So he's like not even mad at AJ because he knows he didn't mean it. You know, I love segments like this where it feels like, you know, this is something that we've all seen where something happens and either you see it or it happens and you don't know the context. So you're like, you could see how someone will be mad. You know what I mean? So, but he's not, and it's you just laughing the whole time, like, oh my gosh, he just kicked him in the head. You know, like, oh
yeah.
Okay, so Shane McMahon decides to insert himself in this match and make it a triple threat. Will it make you more interested in the match, Charlie?
Hell no. No, I'm tired of him being.
That's a rumor. That's a rumor.
That'd be some. You know what? I wouldn't put it past him. They made him face AJ Styles at freaking WrestleMania.
It's true. All right, but we gotta move on. We gotta skip a bunch of stuff because we got like 5 minutes to wrap it up. So I won't be late again. All right. Anyway, we had Lana and Tamina segment. Basically, Tamina.
Skip. I'll tell you when I skipped over something.
Oh, okay, you go ahead.
Yeah, skipped it. Ellsworth, the backbase section, skipped the Nakamura interview because I talked about that. It's all the stuff I briefly hit. So last thing we got, Jinder versus Randy in the Grudge match.
The worst match yet. Of course, it's on TV.
Man, I mean, I don't have much to say about this. Honestly, it was just bad, and it really made the champion look weak. I mean, not that he's like the strongest champion to begin with, but at least he started building that name up. You know what I mean? Like,
he had a thing where he wasn't losing at least, and now it's gone because now he's done. I think this puts it in stone. He's losing that belt at SummerSlam one way or another, whether it's Nakamura or Corbin.
Yeah. And I don't think it's Nakamura. I don't think they're there yet. I think it's going to be Corbin. I think they've been there with Corbin for long enough that they're going to just put the strap on him. And
I'm just curious why Randy needed the win.
He didn't, because he's got this feud with Rusev now, which he could just have him easily win that. And I know it's going to make Rusev, again, look a little weak, but it doesn't matter in the context, because if Randy needs a win so bad that you need to job out your champion, why couldn't they have just done the same thing to Rusev in a match this week?
Yeah, it makes you think.
It's just bad booking. Do you have anything to add to this, Brady?
I was asleep.
I mean, just based off what you're hearing.
No.
Yeah, it's not much worth talking about. All right, well.
Do not like Jinder losing a match on TV like that after he's been booked so well as a champion. Like, winning matches-wise, at least.
But is it not consistent, though? Jinder has needed help every single time that he gets a win, and the one time he doesn't have help, he loses. I think it's consistent.
Obviously, but it seems illogical to have if you just don't have the match to begin with between the two of them. If you just say, "Oh, it's done," then I mean, if you need him to lose like that, maybe have him move on to somebody else, and Randy be like, about when he's about to go, I'll be like, just so you know, you never won against me. You're not going to be able to beat whoever it is. You know what I mean? Because you you always had up. You could have played to that. Instead, they just kill it all by having Randy beat him in one match, like a week after their feud ends. Basically, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I have one question. So, rumor is that Vince McMahon was very upset with Nakamura after that botched move against Cena last week, and he just does not like Nakamura that much. Everyone is guessing that Mahal is not going to keep the title for too much longer. He'll probably retain it against Nakamura now, but what are the odds Baron Corbin cashes in next week and turns the match between Corbin and Cena into a title match?
It could happen. I really hope not, though.
Yeah, I hope not. Think about Corbin is not ready to be a champion, and I'm a Corbin fan. I've been behind him for a long time.
And also, Cena has to win that match.
He has nothing different that Jinder has. At least Jinder has his foreign thing.
Yeah.
Corbin doesn't even have that.
Corbin
I mean,
needs to shave his head, dude. He's got to get Rogan or shave
No,
it.
wait. Because if Corbin and him have a match at that means he's going to retain because John Cena always loses at SummerSlam. So that would mean we would be getting the start of him
I don't think
with him beating
Corbin
Cena.
at SummerSlam. I'll give a little.
Yeah.
Corbin was champion and retained and beat Cena clean at SummerSlam. Everything would be different.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
Maybe that's where they're going with it because John Cena does like to lose at SummerSlam, you know.
All right, then one last question. This is for you, Garrett.
All right.
Right now, rank them 1 through 5. Kevin, Jason, Josh, Paul, and Matt.
I have no idea. I can't even remember what you said. Just
Kevin,
whatever order you said them in.
Kevin,
Just that order, whatever.
Okay.
That's the order I pick.
Oh, okay, that's a pretty good order.
All right. Make sure you guys comment, rate, subscribe, like. Yes, I'm going with the old school version. They don't actually have rating anymore, but who cares? Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell to know when we go live.
Stealing my outro.
Absolutely stealing it. I'm jacking it without even. This is the best.
Unbelievable. Cut it.
This is the best.
No. Just cut the stream, bro.